Hello, Rama Road families. Welcome to another presentation as part of the Rama Road Parenting Series. I am Ms. Litchfield, and today we are going to be learning about an approach to parenting called positive parenting. Positive parenting is an approach to parenting based on the continual relationship between the parent and the child that includes caring, teaching, leading, communicating, and providing for the needs of the child. The focus is on the positive points of behavior. There can be an idea that positive parenting is permissive and that there are no consequences for negative behaviors. This is inaccurate. Positive parenting is very much based upon structure and accountability. There are clearly defined limits that are communicated to the child. When a child does not meet expectations, there are consequences. This will be explained later in the presentation. A strong parent-child relationship is the foundation for positive parenting. This is built through communication, encouragement, time spent together, mutual respect, and unconditional positive regard. Communicate regularly with your child. Take time to find out what is going on in your child's life and assist your child in problem solving. Remember that listening is the most important piece of communicating. Encourage your child to try new or challenging things. Praise his or her efforts in working hard and not giving up. Spend time with your child. This one is so important. Kids need attention, and if they are not getting it, they will seek it out by using negative attention-seeking behaviors. Mutual respect means that you treat your child the way that you would like to be treated. That does not mean that you treat them as an adult, but that you do show respect through your word choices, tone of voice, and caring attitude. Unconditional positive regard means that your child knows that you love them no matter what. You may not like or love their choices or behaviors, but your child knows that you will always love them. It is important to set clear rules and expectations. Your child needs to know what is expected of them at home and at school. These expectations should be clear and communicated to them. When setting expectations, less is more. Have a few rules that speak to safety and respect rather than a long list of many rules. State them in a positive way. Let your child know what you want them to do versus what you do not want them to do. For example, we use calm voices to talk through situations versus saying, don't yell. Saying, keep your hands to yourself rather than, don't hit your brother. You may need to explicitly teach or show your child what you expect. When you say that you want them to have a clean room, what does a clean room look like? Where do you expect things to be placed? Are they expected to dust and vacuum or just put up their toys? And finally, model your own expectations. Make sure that you have a do as I do approach rather than a do as I say but not as I do approach. Word choice is so important as we communicate expectations to our kids. These statements were taken from a free handout on the Love and Logic website, which you will find on the resources slide. Instead of saying, I'm not picking up your dirty clothes, say, I'll be glad to wash the clothes that are put in the laundry room. Instead of saying, you can't go play until you have finished your homework, say, feel free to go play as soon as you have finished your homework. Instead of saying, don't be bothering your sister, say, you are welcome to stay with us as long as you are not bothering your sister. These phrases clearly establish expectations, but in a positive way. The child knows exactly what they need to do. Arguments and power struggles between the child and the parent are decreased. It takes a bit of time to learn to phrase things in this manner, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. Focus on what your child is doing well. Provide reinforcement for expected behaviors. Examples could be, "Wow, you seem to be ready to talk. You are calm and not yelling at me." Or, "Great job putting all your toys away. What would you like to do now?" Your child is going to make mistakes and bad choices, as we all do. Each time this happens is an opportunity for them to learn more appropriate behaviors. Focus on the behavior, not the child. When we tell a child that they are bad, they begin to believe that their own behaviors are outside of their control because this is just the way that they are. We want to make sure that the child understands that it is their choice that was not okay. Also, we want to make the child upset with their choice, not with you. When we yell at our kids or use punishments that don't fit the crime, they become upset at the parent, and the focus shifts to the punishment rather than reflecting on and learning from the bad choice or the experience. Therefore, we need to implement natural and logical consequences as much as possible, and examples of these will be provided on the next two slides. It is worth noting that it is okay to delay a consequence, especially for older children. When we react out of anger to the situation, we may make a decision that we regret. For example, parents may take every item from a child's room and then tell him it is for a month. Now the child feels like there's nothing to work for, and the parent is left with few other options if future or further misbehavior continues. Often the parent ends up going back on what they communicated rather than sticking to it. Let your child know that you're disappointed with their choice and that you need some time to think of an appropriate consequence. This gives you time to cool down and come up with an appropriate next step. It also gives time for your child to think about what they did and also to sweat it out a bit. Natural consequences are those things that happen naturally as a result of our choices. When we stay up too late, we are tired. When we choose not to eat, we are hungry. Although you do not impose these consequences on your child, as they happen naturally, it is important not to rescue your child from them. When you bring the forgotten homework to school or disrupt plans to go home for warm clothes, you are robbing your child of the opportunity to learn from mistakes. Logical consequences are imposed by the parent and are punishments that fit the crime. The child who cannot speak appropriately to family members stays in their room until they can. The child who chose not to clean their room or do homework cannot do what they want to at this moment. The child who mistreats property, for example, a tablet, loses use of that item until they can show care for property. Turning Words into Gold handout provided a lot of examples of how to phrase those consequences. Consequences are not always bad. They are the result of our actions. Therefore, it is important to make sure that our kids understand that positive choices have positive consequences. When someone is kind to others, people want to be his or her friend. When a room is cleaned up, then you can have free time. When you show respect to family members, then you're able to join the family for fun activities. When you take care of items, then your parents trust you with a future item that you may want. Take time to acknowledge positive behaviors and to highlight the consequence that your child is getting from using that behavior. There is so much information and support out there for using positive parenting. What has been provided today in this 10-minute presentation is really just the tip of the iceberg. As parents in North Carolina, you have access to a free online training program called Triple P Parenting. If you would like to learn more, I recommend checking it out. In addition to these resources, the Love and Logic website has a ton of free information that goes along with the book Parenting with Love and Logic. Click on the link to access the free handout pages. The other two links provide additional information and overviews. You can access this presentation with active links by visiting the Rama Road Counseling website. The link to that is located on this Facebook page. Thank you so much for your time, and as always, feel free to reach out to a Student Services staff member if you need further information or support.